everybody, it's Sang here. Welcome to Take 5 Podcast from wherever you're listening to. Are you here from Instagram or you are one of my close friends and you saw the link to the podcast on my WhatsApp story? And you know what? Now we have a new family with us, and that is from YouTube. So, from wherever you are listening to, you're welcome to this podcast. The reason why I decided to go with YouTube was because I realized that I found out that some of my friends they don't really listen to Spotify, like that is not their vibe. But YouTube is something that everybody has and watches or listens to. So I wanted this podcast to be available to everybody, in all platforms. So yeah, this is the reason why now we have Take 5 Podcast YouTube channel. So go check it out. The link is all in the description. So today we're going to talk about something that has been on my mind. Okay, so I was just scrolling through Instagram the other day and I saw this page where they post tweets. So, anyway, there was this tweet and it said, "All you need is a little delusion and audacity, and you can seriously do anything in this life." And ever since then, after reading that quote, it has been just stuck in my brain. And right after reading that, not right after, but some days goes by, right after I read this quote, and I'm still thinking about it. Like, I'm just obsessed with this quote, and I've been thinking about how all we need is a little delusion and a little audacity, and we can do seriously anything in life. So I've been thinking about it, and some days goes by, and I saw this guy. I think we all know him. I think this guy has popped out in one or two of our feed while just scrolling through Instagram. His name is Dolly Chaiwala. He makes tea. He's a street tea maker, but the way that he is just he's loud, right? He wears this colorful clothes. He has this highlighted hair, and he wears these colorful glasses. So he's very attention grabbing. And you know what? So this guy, before he was like in this level of famous, he was more known for the way that he dresses and also for the way that he makes tea, right? But now this guy has a video viral with thousands of views of him making tea for Bill Gates. That's right. This guy was standing outside with Bill Gates, making him tea the same way that he does for others. And that just stunned me. Right? And it made me think back of that tweet, and that is, all you need is a little delusion and audacity, and you can do seriously anything in life. It made me think of like how many times in my life I decided not to go ahead with something because I thought I was not good enough. I thought I was not ready. I thought I didn't have the right equipment, the right space, the money, the environment, the people, and so many other reasons. And I just sat back and I didn't go forth. And I didn't start something because of all these quote unquote valid reasons that I was giving myself. And I've just realized that, and slowly I have come to the realization that there will never be enough of anything to start something. there will never be enough money. There will never be enough equipments, enough ideas, enough people, enough support, or enough whatever it is to start something. And that's the thing, like, despite not having all these things, despite the lack of things still going ahead, that is what it's all about. And also, we don't embrace our uniqueness, our weirdness, or our authenticity for the fear of judgment. We fear that if we show who we really are and what we really like to do, people will laugh at us and they will cringe at us. So we just try to blend in into the crowd, and we don't try to do anything different. We try not to be, we try not to grab any attention. We kill our authenticity for the fear of judgment. And so when we look at people like Dolly Chaiwala in the beginning, honestly, in the beginning, I was like, wow, look at this guy, right? And the second thought that I had was, okay, I kind of respect what he's doing because he is just embracing who he is. He likes to dress up. He likes to wear all his glasses of different colors. And he makes this tea in this with this style and this certain flamboyant nature that he just presents himself. That's exactly the reason why he was catching the attention of people. And that's why people were coming over to have tea in his tea stall, despite all other tea stall. I mean, I'm sure there's not much difference between how he makes the taste of the tea that he makes as compared to any other chaiwala. But the way that he does it, the way that he presents himself is what attracts people to him. And he knows that, and he owns it openly. So many of us are talented in different ways, and we like to express ourselves through different means. We all have something that we like to do, but for some reason, we keep that side hidden. And some of those reasons is because we don't want people to criticize us. We don't want people to laugh at us. And so at the expense of not being laughed at or not being criticized at, not being mocked at, we just hide that part of ourselves. And that's kind of sad. Just imagine if we embrace ourselves and our talents and our uniqueness, our however way it is, it may be as flamboyant as Dolly Chaiwala, or it may be quiet and it may be subtle, but however the part of ourself is, if we just embrace it and if we just show it, if we just show our skill and our talent, just imagine all the things that we can achieve. Like, we want that success. We want to reach the point where people respect us. But what we don't understand, what most of us don't understand, is that when you start something, nobody cares. And that's just the truth. Nobody cares when you are nobody. Right? You're just any other person. But when you get to a certain point, when your work starts to show itself, then people start noticing you and people start respecting you. And we want that part. We want that shiny part. But we don't want that part where we are just working hard in the background and nobody sees us. In so many stories of like successful people, we only know the story of their success. But what we fail to know and understand is that they have failed so many times. They have been laughed at, they have been mocked at. People have not people have refused to see value in their work. They have been rejected so many times. But still they have been persistent, and then they did not give up, and they saw value in their work despite what others told them. So they just kept pursuing on and on and on until they got to the point where they were just successful. And it just took flight from there, and they have been having success one after the other. But we just know the story of their success. We don't know the story of their failures. We want that part, but we don't want the part where there is struggle, and where there is mockery, and where there is no support. We don't want that part. Successful people believe in their work, and they also had the audacity to go after it. And you don't even need much of it. You just need a little bit of audacity, just a little bit of confidence. You may have your doubt here and there about your work or about yourself, sure. You may have doubt about whether I should pursue this. Is this working out for me? That's just normal to think. And it's normal to fear the unknown. It's normal to think how something is going to go. Fear is just a biological response to the unknown. We fear what we don't know. We fear what's going to happen next. But sometimes we mostly fear things. We fear starting something because we are sure that it's going to fail. We don't fear success, but we fear failure. What if I don't succeed? What if I fail? And all these people will laugh at me. And even enough talent, we think the world is filled with enough talented people. They don't need an amateur like me. So, yeah, I'm not going to do something because I'm not good enough right now. And there are so many people out there who are in level 10, and I'm not even in level 1. So let me just sit back and do nothing. Well, guess what? All these people in level 10, how did they get to level 10? They started where you stand today. The thing about starting something is you will never be ready. There will never be enough of anything. But once you start, things slowly starts to make sense. Things starts to accumulate for you. Slowly, now you upgrade your talent. Your talent gets brushed up as you continue to do what you wish to do. You upgrade your equipments. You meet the right people who push you towards the right direction. Once you take the first step, the rest just falls into itself. It's just that we hesitate to take that first step. The first step is the hardest one. That is the hardest part of the journey. Trust me. But once you take that first step, things get a little easier. The second step gets a little easier. The third step gets a little bit more easier. It's just the first step that takes up all our courage. That's the test of our courage. That's a test of our conviction towards our dreams and our goals, or in our passion, or whatever it is that we are trying to achieve or trying to work towards at. Take this podcast, for example. Sometimes I think, oh my goodness, forget about people that I don't know, but people who know me and people that I know listen to this podcast. And sometimes I just get blunt about my life and my experiences, and I just wonder, oh my God, what will they think about me, my life, and my experiences? Sometimes I get insecure thinking, wow, I'm just laying my cards on the table just like that for everybody to listen to. And even for people that I don't know will be listening to this. And it does make me feel a little overexposed. But then I get feedbacks like, that is really relatable. That is something that I feel too. And I'm glad that you said it out loud. What you spoke on the podcast spoke to my heart. And in times like this and feedback like this makes me think that, okay, maybe I'm doing something substantial. Maybe I'm speaking to at least maybe just one person. I don't care if this voice is not reaching 100,000 people. If it's reaching that one person, that's more than enough for me. So imagine if I decide not to do this thing and not to speak my mind on things, and there is someone out there who feels the same way and thinks that maybe I'm the only one who thinks like that and feels like that, because no one is talking about this, no one is feeling, no one is communicating or in any form saying anything about how I feel. So maybe I am the only one who is feeling this way, thinking this way. Maybe I'm the odd one out. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I am not normal. So whatever it is that you are, whatever gifts and talent that you have, people who will relate with you will relate with you. And people who will not relate with you, no matter what you do, will not relate with you. And that shouldn't matter. People who do not relate with you shouldn't matter to you, because your focus should be on the people who support you and who relate with your work, with your gift and your talents. And also, my encouragement would be to have a little delusion and a little audacity. Like, you don't need much. You don't need a lot of delusion or a lot of audacity. Just a little bit is enough. And you can seriously do anything in this life. Whatever is that you would like to achieve, whatever goals that you have, or maybe something beyond. You know what? In another interview, Dolly Chaiwala says that he didn't even know who Bill Gates was. Like, this guy was making tea for somebody that he didn't even know was a big shot, was a big deal. So, if you have that little audacity and a little delusion, life can take you places where you didn't even dream it would take you. So, yeah, that is my little encouragement. Just be a little crazy about your passion or about whatever it is that you're interested in. Just be a little about it. And then let life take you places where you didn't even imagine you would land. So I don't know if this podcast is making sense, but yeah, this quote really spoke to me, so I thought I would talk about it. Anyway, thank you for hanging out and for listening to me. I hope you stick around, and I'll see you again on the next podcast. Take care. Bye-bye.